Time for the Rams Coach's Corner here on 89.3 FM Pure Country Radio. Brent Baker here at the studio. David Bullock interviewing Gerald Perry, brought to you by Diamond Pharmacy. And I want to say a special thanks to Diamond Pharmacy. They have been a longtime sponsor of our radio station and a longtime supporter of the Mineral Wells Rams. After Diamond Pharmacy, we hear from Gerald Perry about the homecoming win over Burke Burnett and a big matchup Friday night against the Decatur Eagles.
Hey now, Shane White here with Diamond Pharmacy, located inside Metro Foods in Mineral Wells. We are so glad to continue our support of Rams football and Chuck FM radio. Diamond Pharmacy has served the Mineral Wells area for the last 30-plus years. For you, we're open Monday through Friday, 9 to 9, Saturday, 9 to 8, Sundays from 10 to 2. Our phone number, give us a call at 940-325-2541. That's Diamond Pharmacy inside Metro Foods in Mineral Wells. Go Rams!
David Bullock here with Coach Gerald Perry, head coach of the Mineral Wells Rams for Week 9 of the Rams Coach's Corner. And Coach, coming off of a big win against Burke Burnett, how'd you feel like your team did against Burke Burnett this week?
Well, it was a good rebound after a loss to Springtown and get to play Burke here at home. And thought we played well. Got off to a slow start offensively, but things started clicking in the second half and ran the ball very, very well. And just excited for a win. It puts us in the playoff hunt, and we got to win another game or two. But put us in good position to do what we want to do. Let's make the playoffs.
Things a little bit slow in the first half, but Khalil Thompson exploded for 4 touchdowns, over 280 yards rushing in the game last week. Thompson was quite a factor in that big win. Tell us about Khalil.
Well, going into they played press man out on our receivers, and felt like we had a good chance to run the football against these guys, and we kind of got to that the second half. That was kind of the game plan going in, is getting a lot of two-back. Run the ball, and kind of got away from it a little bit early on, but got back to it at halftime, made some adjustments, and that's what we lived with the second half. You know, Khalil's an outstanding runner, short, compact, and just got a lot of power to his game. He's got a lot of wiggle. There's a lot of tackles missed tackles that I'm sure their players took some heat on when they watched film on Saturdays, but he's a tremendous athlete, very God gave him a great gift, and great young man. Great to have him in this program, and just to be around him. He's a tremendous kid, great athlete, but a tremendous kid, and fun to be around. And we started making him take 3 ice baths a week now, and he didn't like that. So that's how I get back at him is dip him in 40-degree ice water. So, but he's, again, just a great athlete. Glad we have him, and we felt like we could run the ball at any time. We had a lot of changes up front. We had a couple of linemen that were out all week, and so we started a freshman at guard, and so, but Khalil makes them look really good at times.
And the Rams really had a big game, and it week in and week out, we see towards the end of games, and we talk about it every week in the broadcast, third quarter, fourth quarter, the Rams just seem like they're in better shape physically than a lot of the teams that you play, and that seems like where you win ball games is in that third and fourth quarter.
We condition 3 days a week after practice. I've never done that until this year, but we've always platooned. This year we went to practicing both sides of the ball, and so it really felt like we had a lot of players that are playing significant minutes on both sides and needed to get that extra conditioning. And we take this conditioning serious, and our kids work hard at it and understand the importance of it. But yeah, we do. And like I said, we've got some weapons at receivers and feel like we can do what we want to on the perimeter. But it comes down to it. We're going to eat that clock at times, and especially against good offensive teams, and run the ball and take what they give us. You know, they had 2 tremendous wideouts, and 2 of their touchdowns one was on a broken play, one was a sprint out they threw back, and we had a tough time covering those guys. But everybody in our district's got weapons, and luckily we have the opportunity to have a good running back and fullbacks, and O-line is developed ahead of schedule, in my opinion, and doing a great job, and we're able to eat clock and score on the run.
Can you talk about any injuries from the Burke Burnett game that'll impact us this week against Decatur?
No, we're healed. We actually got a lot of players back. Our inside linebacker, Gavin Pena, we held him out last week. He punted. That was his only role in that game. Right guard was out as well. Colton Devine, he's back this week. And then our right tackle was out all week for practice, but was cleared to play in the game. So we were real thin the whole week. So a lot of our issues we had at the beginning of the game on offense was O-line related, with some miscues up there. But Coach Willard does a great job with them and got them settled down and made some adjustments to what they were doing, and things settled down and felt real good. Had a couple turnovers we don't need. Still got to clean those things up, but other than that, it was a very productive game.
So, in watching the game, I especially watched Gary O'Bannon, 6'2", 250-pound freshman that you had to start on O-line. I thought he did a good job, and seemed like he's a little green, but he progressed throughout the game, did a really good job. He
is. He's going to be a tremendous lineman for us. Anytime you put a freshman on the field, you worry. Even sophomores, if they're ready. And he had a tough task. There was a four-man front. He had a guy sitting in front of him the whole night, so it was a one-on-one battle, and did well. You see us score touchdowns on film. He's running down like the receivers and the skill guys, jumping and hands up in the air, and you look back behind them 10, 15 yards, the old linemen are just slowly working their way down the goal line. They're not in any hurry to get down there to celebrate. And he's jumping up like a little kid, having a great time, which we want him to. It's a game, and these are young men, and want them to enjoy these experiences. But he's going to be really special before it's over with.
So after Friday night, District 4-4A looks like this. Springtown is the only team that's undefeated. They sit in first place at 2-0, and arguably probably the best team in the district. And then there is a conglomeration of teams. Wichita Falls, Hershey, Decatur, Gainesville, Mineral Wells all tied for second, and then Burke Burnett at 0-2. Springtown plays Wichita Falls, Hershey the last game of the season. That will be their only true test probably coming up for the rest of the year. But how do you see the rest of the district shaking out after that last week's games?
Well, a lot will be determined after this week. With us and Decatur, that whoever wins this game will put you in really good shape moving forward. Gainesville, we got Gainesville next week. They have Springtown this week, so they may be banged up after that game, or I don't see them beating Springtown. So really, if we win the next two, we're definitely in for sure. And then it comes down to the Hershey on that Thursday night, the last game, and for seeding, and that'll be a big one. Feel like if you get a good seeding in this district going in the playoffs, you have a chance to make a good run, a deep run with who we play. So again, every game's important. You got to win them just to get in. But I said I don't know if anybody will take Springtown down now, but you never know.
So Friday night at Decatur. Decatur's always been a tough place for the Rams to play, and they usually have a really good program. They actually come into this contest this week at 2-5, but I think their record is a little deceptive. They played some tough teams in Midlothian, Heritage, and Glen Rose, who are really good teams this year. And then they had a big loss to Springtown, 75-35, 2 weeks ago. And then you look at their two wins against Alvarado, and then the big shocker was against Wichita Falls Hershey, where they won that game 22-21. They also have an ex-NFL quarterback as their quarterback coach at Decatur. How do you think that impacts their offense, and do they really spread that ball out and pass it a lot?
Well, they had to make an adjustment. Their star quarterback from last year, who's committed to Oklahoma State to play baseball, I think the week before two-a-days started, confirmed that he was not going to play this season, and I think he's going to graduate early and start in college in January. But so he decided not to play. So once that happens at late notice, it kind of throws a wrench into things. So Coach Fuller, who's a great coach, I've known Coach Fuller for a long time. When I was back at Plano, that guy was the head coach at Capel, been the head coach at Colleyville Heritage, been in some great programs, and he knows his stuff and does a great job. So they had to adjust to a change at quarterback, and so that that takes some time to do. But you look at their wins. Alvarado's a good program. Hershey last week did not have, or the week before did not have their quarterback. He was out, and they were unable to throw the football. So that helped Decatur. But they got some quality wins, and the losses are against good teams. And it's going to be a battle. They'll have a great plan together. Again, they're well coached, and I know they've got some problems over there with when you're a good program, you're not winning. People start to kind of get antsy on you, but a big win for them this week makes things right for them and puts them in a good situation to make the playoffs. So we understand that. We'll get a good test from them, and like I said, they're a good team. Their losses are against very good teams. So, but they're good. They throw the ball quite a bit. To me, their running backs are special. They got a really good running back. They got a slot receiver that moved back there as well. That kid is about as quick as a kid you'll see on the field, and so they've got weapons. They're probably their biggest struggles are on defense and giving up a lot of points, a lot of yards. So they put their best players on the offensive side, but they're very capable. We'll have some big D linemen we'll have to block, and we'll have to execute very well.
Very physical game upcoming Friday night against Decatur. The following week, I guess it'll be a short week for you, where you take on Wichita Falls.
Well, we'll have Gainesville.
Oh,
here.
Gainesville, yes, that's
Gainesville
right.
will be here Friday. It'll be senior night. Heroes Night. We'll honor our first responders, and then the next week's a short week on a Thursday at Hershey, and again hopefully we've got playoffs locked in going into that game, and then now we're playing for seeding. But again, a lot of football left, and anything can happen.
Season has gone by fast, hasn't it, Coach?
It has. Feels like I've aged 3 years just this season alone, so I'm getting older and older. But again, these kids they're fun to practice with. They work hard. They're heavy with the seniors, and they were with us when we were winning, making those playoff runs, and so they understand what it takes, and they're just having a great time, and we'll do anything you ask them to do, and that's all we can ask. But great things are ahead of us.
Rams big game in Decatur Friday night, 7 o'clock kickoff from Decatur. If you can't make it, you can listen to the game on 89.3 Pure Country. You've been listening to the Coach's Corner with head coach of the Mineral Wells Rams, Gerald Perry. Coach, thank you for joining us today.